and welcome to another segment of Envision, where we're talking to Superintendent Dr. Brian Maher about issues in the Sioux Falls School District. And one of those issues is a difficult one to tackle. It seems like every winter we have snowstorms and days where people wonder, are we going to let out of school? Are we not going to let out of school? What kind of factors go into that decision-making process?
Well, first of all, those are days where superintendents don't sleep.
Yes.
Those are not good days. And I would tell you the mindset that I adopt on that is, would I want my own kids, even though they're grown now, would I want my own kids out driving on those particular days? And the snow days probably are a little tougher than the bitter cold days because there's no one criteria for a snow day. For example, if you get 6 inches of snow, there's no snow on the ground, and it's a beautiful Christmas snow that just comes straight down with no wind. We can navigate that really pretty well. It'll be sloppy and the streets will be slick, but you know, this is South Dakota. We can navigate that pretty well. But if you get that same 6 inches of snow on top of snow that already exists, and maybe streets that aren't perfectly clean at that point in time, and you put some wind in with that 6 inches of snow, now you've got a real unsafe situation. So you really, I think we look at the amount of snow, we look at the wind and what it's doing with the snow, we look at the current conditions prior to the weather event, and we also look at what does the future hold. We work very closely with the National Weather Service to say, when is this event going to start? When is this event going to stop? And what's the safest situation for our kids? So all of those things really go into that decision.
And you're not making that decision in isolation or just inside the walls of our school headquarters office. I know you've been out, you've gone out, driven the streets, and you have a group of people that does that to make sure that, because Sioux Falls is large, one side of town isn't experiencing something completely different than the other. But you've been out driving those routes as well.
Yeah, you know, you're right. The very first snow event we had this year, the very northern part of our district had about 10 inches of snow, and the southern part of our district had about 16 inches of snow. So it can vary just in our school district alone. But so we do that. And probably the small town guy in me still has a need to go out to drive to get that firsthand information on are the roads safe or not safe. And so one of the other things that we look at is, when does the event begin and when is the event going to end? I would like it if all snow events began, you know, about 7 p.m.
Okay.
and ended by about 5 a.m. So we could have all of the information prior to making a decision. But unfortunately, it just doesn't happen that way. So, luckily, we have a good friend and a good relationship at the National Weather Service. They give us a lot of good information. They're part of our team as we put all of the data together to make the information, or to gather that information. But also, we have folks within the district who drive. We have folks who communicate with the city. We have folks who communicate with our earliest morning mail route drivers, and so we've got a lot of data that we bring together ultimately for a single decision.
Right, and decisions are made with the student's best interest in mind. In a district the size of 24,000, while one person might think, well, we shouldn't be in school, the next person's going to think, well, why would they let out? How am I going to, you know, what am I going to do with my child during the day, and that type of thing. So we understand it's a challenging decision, and one that is probably not going to make every single person happy, but we make decisions based on the best interests of the 24,000 that we serve.
The easiest decisions are the 18-inch snows. Those are the easiest. The toughest are those maybe 6-inch snows with wind, and how do you navigate all of the factors that go into that? Those are the tough ones.
Right. Well, I've seen you make those decisions and all the work that goes into it, and so I think we can safely say that you know, there's plenty of information gathering that goes in before a decision is made, and we're always going to work hard to make that decision in the best interests of our students. Thanks for joining us today on Envision.